Kash Patel had just finished his fiery tirade against government oversight, slamming the table with such force that the microphone buzzed for a full second. He stood with his chest puffed, eyes gleaming with misplaced confidence, as he accused half the House Oversight Committee of corruption. The room crackled with tension, but it was what happened next that made history. Before we continue, if you're watching our video for the first time, please bless and support us by hitting that subscribe button. Turn on your notification bell to get notified for more. Share to friends. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. To our first 100 subscribers, thank you. You are the roots of our tree. We grow because of you. The camera panned to Representative Jasmine Crockett, who had been silent throughout Patel's explosive monologue. Her hands were clasped tightly, her gaze steady like a lioness watching her prey spiral into arrogance. The hush in the chamber was palpable as all eyes turned to her. What she said next would shatter the air like glass under pressure. "Mr. Patel," she said, her voice calm but sharp. "It takes a special kind of delusion to look in a mirror and accuse it of lying." The entire room froze. A ripple of silence spread like an earthquake's wave. Even the stenographer paused mid-keystroke. For a moment, it felt like time had slowed. Kash Patel, once full of swagger, blinked, confused, blindsided. Then the murmurs began. Soft at first, then building, gasps, hushed wows, even a whistle from the back. What followed wasn't just a political takedown. It was a dismantling. Jasmine didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Her tone was surgical. "You come here waving conspiracy theories like they're gospel, peddling fiction, and attacking institutions you once served. You demand respect while offering none. You name-drop patriotism but flee accountability like a coward dodging draft papers." Patel tried to interject. She cut through him like wind through smoke. "Sit. You've had your circus. Now witness the truth." The audience, a sea of politicians, press, interns, and aides, sat riveted. Even Chairman Thompson leaned forward, his pen resting on his notes. Jasmine tapped her iPad, pulling up Patel's past statements. Contradictions glaring like flashing red lights. She read from one. "June 2022. The FBI is doing a fantastic job, and I support their work fully." October 2022. "The FBI is weaponized and corrupt." Which is it, Mr. Patel? The truth or your paycheck? The twist? Patel's reaction. He laughed. A hollow, desperate laugh. That's when Jasmine dropped the second hammer. "You know what this is really about? Ego. You weren't chosen. You weren't the face. You weren't the voice. Now you throw stones at the house you helped build because you're bitter you weren't made king." A young reporter from a local station whispered, "This is live gold." In the midst of her takedown, Crockett pivoted. "This isn't just about one man's lies," she said, addressing the room. "This is about the erosion of truth in our democracy, about how we've normalized misinformation, rewarded recklessness, and forgotten that integrity doesn't bend for ratings." The lights from the cameras buzzed. Phones lit up across the gallery. Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, they exploded. Hashtag Jasmine Destroys Patel trended within minutes. And then came the real twist. A staffer rushed in, whispered in Chairman Thompson's ear. He nodded gravely. "We have just confirmed," he announced, "that classified documents Patel claimed were fabricated have been authenticated by a third-party intelligence review." You could feel the temperature drop. Patel's face drained of color. Jasmine didn't gloat. She didn't smile. She simply closed her iPad, looked at the chair, and said, "I yield the rest of my time." The thunder of applause erupted. Not the usual clapping, but a rare standing ovation from both sides of the aisle. After the hearing, Patel tried to exit through the side. A young activist blocked his path, holding up a phone. "How does it feel to be fact-checked by history in real time?" she asked. He had no answer. Later that evening, as Jasmine walked out of the Capitol building, an elderly woman in a wheelchair called out to her. "I watched the hearing," she said, gripping her oxygen tank. "My husband died in Vietnam. You honored him today. Thank you." Jasmine bent down, held her hand, and whispered, "It's a truth I spoke for." Back at her office, Jasmine's team celebrated, but she remained grounded. Today wasn't about a viral moment, she said, removing her heels. It was about recentering truth in this place. We owe it to the people who sent us here. The next morning, every major newspaper had her quote on the front page. It takes a special kind of delusion to look at a mirror and accuse it of lying. And that became more than a sentence. It became a warning, a mantra, a mirror, moral lesson. In an age of spectacle and spin, integrity remains undefeated. Speaking truth to power isn't about theatrics. It's about courage. The loudest voice isn't always right, but the one anchored in facts always prevails. Jasmine Crockett reminded a watching world that power without principle is nothing but noise. This story was brought to you by Elliot Stories. See you on the next one. Peace.